9.5 weeks out from my show, Day in the Life of a Future IFBB Pro, showing you guys raw footage of what it takes to get to the highest level in the sport. So in the morning, I pin my GH, I pin my peptides like Reta, BPC, TB, MOTS-C, and you see the lumps. MOTS-C always gives me lumps, and SS31. Then I do some vacuum work, fasted on an empty stomach, pretty much trying to keep the waist thin, helps with posing as well. Right after, I make my morning gut drink. It helps with digestion. Pretty much it's just lemon juice with some apple cider vinegar, 15 grams of glutamine, and 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper. It tastes like absolute dog shit, but it helps and it gets the job done. Then I take my morning supplements and ancillaries before I head to work. Take my meal prep to work, of course. Always got to stay prepared. 2 meals, 2 Coke Zeros, 2 energy drinks, and my secret sauce. Heading to work right now. Got to get there at 6 a.m. At this point, got to drink my first energy drink. Fatigue is kicking in. Have my first meal at 10 a.m. It's just 250 grams of potatoes, 120 grams of broccoli, and ground turkey. Meal 2 is the same exact meal, once again, with a Coke Zero and an energy drink. I'm drinking the energy drink while I go home just to stay energized. Caffeine is the only thing suppressing my appetite at this point. Then I'm meal prepping for the week. It's 15 pounds of chicken and a couple, I think 1 pound of shrimp. Then I pin my gear for the day. 1 syringe is going to have Tren, Test Mass, and EQ in another one. Meal 3 is shrimp, chicken breast, and white rice. Then I get to the gym, do 50 minutes of cardio. Since it's a rest day, it is an active rest day, so I still got to focus on recovery as well. So do the sauna, 2 15-minute rounds. More posing post sauna. The sauna just gives that nice pump because it does help with blood flow. That's why it aids with recovery. Sauna, if you have a sauna in the gym, always do the sauna. It really, really helps with recovery. Like, it is underrated as hell. Then I drink a shake, aid with recovery some more. Then I have 3 whole eggs in the car before I go home and have my last meal, which is a little bit of white rice, some broccoli, and chicken breast. Now I have my meals prepped for tomorrow, ready to conquer the day. Then I take my night supplements, which is just telmisartan, nebivolol, ezetimibe, melatonin, ashwagandha. Then I pin my night GH dose and go to sleep.